Okay, in this video we're going to have a look at law number 4 in the R3 approach, universal law number 4. It has to do with release action. Release action may very well be one of the most important movements in the swing that we can pay attention to, come to understand, and actually correctly and sufficiently work on in terms of improving our ability to strike the ball in a direction that we're actually looking. Okay, the release action in the swing, it has to do with our power and direction being released. And as I've said in the two previous videos, again, release action it's a movement that really hasn't changed much throughout the years. If we look at videos and pictures and videos of players throughout past generations, we'll see that the movements are very, very much the same, if not exactly the same, when it comes to what's actually happening through impact. Now, when we think about release action, what we're talking about here is our ability to release the power that we have formed by the angle as we set it during the backswing in the set position, and then delivered that angle through the swing path during the go move at the initiation of the downswing into the 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock impact zone. What we're going to be doing is releasing our arms and our body in order to release that power in the direction that we're looking. And release action very much means what the very terms imply, and that is that we're releasing all the energy that we've built up during our backswing and downswing. Release action is we could almost substitute the word rotation, because again, what we will be doing is releasing both our arms and our body during the swing. And what we want to do is find the best and correct blend of these two release actions. There are a lot of subtleties to the release action. Some players are going to be more arm releasers than they are body releasers. Other players will be a little bit more of a body releaser than they will be an arm releaser. Nevertheless, we're releasing both our arms and our bodies during the swing. Again, on the left, I'm doing my absolute best to swing is about as bad as I can swing. It's very awkward. Looks a little weird too. But going from the ready position, we'll go to the set position in the top of the swing. Top of the swing again is the point at which we've actually set the angle in the swing. Also pivoted our body into the trailing hip, wound our body up, in other words. So we'll make this movement to the top of our swing, set position, and then we'll initiate the go move. And again, the go move is just going to be the process of dropping that angle down into the path, into the 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock impact zone through the swing path. We'll be doing so as we rotate and pivot back into that left side or our lead side during the swing. Okay, so let's see what happens through the bottom of the swing here. Again, I do not at this point have my right arm in a very good position as I enter that 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock impact zone, waist high to waist high. This is where we will actually begin the release action or the rotation of our arms through this part of the swing. Again, here, watch and see that right arm is in a really good strong tuck position here, whereas it's flying out a little bit right there. Okay, so here we are in the 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock impact zone, and I've actually got some pretty reasonably decent lag still going on in this swing on the left, even though I'm trying my best to put as bad a swing on it as I can. Okay, here we go. Now, through this part of the swing, what we're going to start to see happen in each video is a failure to release my arms through that 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock impact zone right there, and a sufficiently good arm release taking place over here on the right. Again, with the board, we'll hear that weight popping through that part of the swing with the release board. We also see that board changing colors from blue, the on-plane side, to the red release side of the board through that 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock impact zone. Notice how several things are happening here. There are a lot of subtleties to the release action. Again, very much to do with rotation. You can see how my arms have crossed over essentially. Right arm has crossed over the left arm there. Left arm has crossed underneath the right arm there. So it is that rotation that creates arm release in the swing. Now when you find a player who has a good arm release, or let's say is a little more of an arm releaser than a body releaser, another subtlety that you'll notice in that movement is as I release my arms past my body almost slows down, allowing my arms to rotate and pass by, which keeps that left shoulder very much in view. Whereas if you look at what's going on over here on the left, if I don't release my arms very well, then what I'll have to do, in fact, is release my body or rotate my body really hard. As you can see here, my left shoulder's completely out of view because I've spun my body around in order to get that club around myself, actually. So body releasers tend to be, release their body very aggressively during the swing. Either way, though, we need to release both in the swing. So with this left arm kicking up like as I'm demonstrating there, that's affectionately referred to as the chicken wing. And we don't want to be chicken winging the golf club through impact right there. Notice how all the way through to the finish of the swing, the glove hand is staying on top of my right hand right there. You can see my glove hand on top, whereas over here it is rotated completely under my right hand. And also just keep watching this movement here. In this swing I did a good job actually of demonstrating a really poor release action of the arms. You can see how my right palm now is actually facing behind me, whereas over here on the right, that right arm will be completely turned over and my palm will be facing actually back toward those trees behind me. So again, the left hand is all broken down at this point. Left wrist is all broken down at this point, which means there's just virtually no rotation in that left arm whatsoever. And what a poor release does is it robs us of virtually everything. Power, everything begins to implode. Any potential release of power is reversed inward, and all the power actually is reversed back into our body, and we'll just have to spin our body harder in order to make that, to generate any kind of speed with the club head through impact. So you'll see this quite often with folks come through and not have a good effective arm release through the bottom of the swing, and then it's also quite interesting how quite often these players will still get to that really nice finish of the swing where they're looking good at the conclusion of the swing. But down here where it's important, and that is what's going on through the 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock area, we've got to begin to have some good arm release taking place down through that part of the swing. Again, that's what creates effortless power in our swing, is to have a good arm release and a body release. So if I am in fact releasing both my arms and my body in the swing, you can see how my entire right side, right shoulder, right hip, right knee, everything gets released really well during the swing, along with my arms, that is. Okay, so release action is a very important part of our golf swing. Again, it's the fourth universal law. It's the third mechanical law, the third of the three mechanical laws of angle, swing path, and release action. So we need to understand as much as we can about what release action is all about in terms of good rotation of our arms through impact and good rotation of our body through impact. Release board, again, it's one of the best tools I've seen in terms of understanding what good arm rotation is, and again with the weight used properly, you can hear that weight releasing at this point in the swing. That's where we want everything releasing. That's through impact. All your best shot makers and ultimately your best players won't do one thing very much the same, and that is that they release through the golf ball, where quite often higher handicappers and folks that have a problem hitting solid shots are essentially just swinging at the ball, and that's it. Nothing else happens through the ball. That's very good, as I'm demonstrating right there pretty effectively. Again, very difficult way, and actually anatomically tough on our body. There's a lot of stress that takes place in our back as we try to generate that speed through impact. Plus, can be very difficult on that left shoulder, because that left shoulder again is pulling so hard through that impact area. So, release action, very important to understand and develop, work on correctly and sufficiently, so that we're able to get that good fluid motion that we're looking for in our golf swings. Alrighty, let's continue exploring what release action is all about in the R3 approach, and continue doing good work.